Good evening, everybody. We are glad to see you guys on this Wednesday evening. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We got Big O, we've got Keith, Kelly, Tim, Shine Your Light. Good evening, guys. Thankful for you to join us tonight. I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold, if you can't notice. That's why my man voice. But I'm joined by Sock. Hi, Sock.
What's going on, Chelsea? What's going on, everybody?
Oh man, this has been a long week. My husband is on, I don't want to say vacation. He's on a travel trip. So I am solo parenting. So if you see my daughter walking in behind me in a few minutes,
Yeah,
I've got the troops rallying to help us out. So
uh,
we'll try to muster through this thing because this head cold is kicking my butt. I'm not gonna lie. How
gotcha.
you doing, Sock? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And how'd you get the head cold? I'm guessing you were detailing outside or just the hot and cold weather?
Oh no, don't tell my husband. He knew about the soccer game, but my nieces, I have three nieces, a senior, a junior, and a freshman in high school, and they were in a district soccer game. And it was raining and cold, and he was like, "You shouldn't go because you're gonna get sick." And I was like, "No." And
Yeah.
literally I came home that night and I was like, my throat hurts a
Oh,
little bit. He left,
jeez.
he left for his trip yesterday, and I totally felt like crap, but didn't say a word to him because I didn't
Mm.
want him to know he was right. My daughter even woke up. She's like, "My throat is sore." I'm like, don't tell dad. Don't tell
Yeah.
dad. I know. I'm doing all of the oils, Corey. I literally have just like oil all over my forehead, my glands, everything. I'm trying everything to get better because I've got SEMA in 2 weeks and I cannot afford to get sick.
Mm.
What's the weather like where you're at in South Carolina?
So right now it's pretty nice. It's like 65 degrees, 70 degrees. So everything is pretty good. Ideal weather. July and August was just way too hot, too humid, 100 degrees almost every day. And yeah, so to me, this is like perfect detail weather. This is what I like, just
Yeah.
all year round.
We've been in the 50s all week, like upper 60s during the day, but at night it's really cold. Like fall is in full swing, but then it's supposed to like be back up into the 70s next week, which is just why I'm sick because it
Yep.
can't make up its dang mind. So I always
Yep.
say weather is like a woman, which just like whoop, we don't know where
Up and
either
down.
that or it has ADHD. It's like I have no
That's
idea.
why they call it Mother Nature.
Yeah. So you're in South Carolina now. What city in South Carolina?
I'm in Conway, or by Myrtle Beach, like pretty much like
Okay.
borderline, but mainly it says Conway, but but 5 minute drive to Myrtle Beach.
Okay. So where did you move from?
I moved from New York actually, so New York, Queens, and if a lot of people don't know, it's detailing over there was fun, was great, but wintertime I didn't have a garage door, so once it hit November, it's pretty much I deny any type of detail unless it's if it's not a ceramic coating, I don't detail wintertime over there. That's pretty much how it was.
Yeah, it's kind of essential to have a door and
Yeah,
heat in the winter here in the north. I mean,
yeah,
I had a carport at our old house, and thankfully I had a neighbor that lent me his garage, and I don't know how I did it all those years, but when we got this house here with the double garage doors, like it was transformative. But the topic tonight is for a lot of us that maybe the economy right now when it comes to detailing, let's just say it sucks. I think a
yeah,
lot of us are struggling to get business. I don't know if it's tariffs. I don't know if it's whatever. We're not going to make it political, but this is probably, I think, economists have said that we're near the collapse of like what it was in 08,
yeah,
which is just, it's great to think about. But it, it
yeah,
does
and
it does feel a little bit like that with business lately, doesn't it?
yeah, it does feel it feels like that, especially me coming from up north. I don't have any clientele, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to like build stuff, up and down. And Titan Tim has been helping me, especially when it comes to like if they call him for interior details, he helps refer them. But yeah, it is pretty slow, especially the way the economy is
Yeah.
everybody's penny pitching. Even us, I'm pretty sure you're doing the same thing. You're budgeting yourself after every detail. You're like, well, where is this money going to be allocated to before I do any splurging?
Well, don't tell Ivan, but I actually lowered my prices a little bit. And I actually got more business this week, which was
Nice.
insane. I lowered it by like $25 for the wash. I didn't touch
Yeah.
the interior prices because they're still they are what they are.
Yeah.
but I've been able to become more efficient. I have, spray and rinse products that can increase, decrease the amount of time, just to try to be more accommodating. I think my starting price for full detail is 300, but like
Yep.
exterior wash, I had to lower my prices a little bit, and I never have had to do that. I have been able to steadily increase my prices over the last 8 or 9 years, and it was a hard contemplation. There was a part of me that was like, "Don't do it because then it's gonna make you look cheap." I don't think $300 makes me look cheap versus
Mm,
325, but for
yep.
some customers, that's more accommodating.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on lowering prices when the economy sucks?
So
Ivan
it's one
actually
of
says raise your prices, which I'm like, that's scary, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
yeah, so well, damn, that's a good question. So for me, really is I kind of keep the prices the same or either raise it. I try not to lower it so much. The only time I try to lower it is basically on a how do I say it? A need be basis. Like say a car really comes in, you're like, I could really knock this out. It's not my hourly cost isn't
Yeah.
going to be affected whatsoever
Mhm.
with this particular vehicle. Then I give a little accommodation, but you want to keep everything the same because just like anything in life, inflation always goes up no matter how bad the economy is,
Yeah.
right? So if you're gonna lower your prices, then when the economy starts booming again and now you raise your prices, then people are gonna say, hey, you were doing it for X price, but $25 isn't, especially for the wash or whatever,
Mhm.
it's not a stamp. There's people that for some reason knock it down an extra $100. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
$100 is way too much. Like just accommodate, based on what it is. And like you said, you keep your coating prices the same. You keep your interior full
Mhm.
detail. This you
Didn't
keep
touch
everything the same.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is best to accommodate is like your little wash or wash, clean, seal. That's what I do as well. Only little
Yeah.
maintenance details. Yeah.
Yeah, we have Rick says you have to know your market, and then
Yep.
we've got I massively raised my prices and no one has said a single word. That's awesome.
Here's a funny thing. So Titan Tim will tell you, I told him to raise his prices,
What
and
were they and what are they now?
uh, they're I don't know his exact price what they but I told him to raise his prices, and he has the clientele here, and even all his old customers, they're like, yeah, it's gonna cost you say 1,800 for like coding. He's like, that's it. Like he said, nobody batted an eye. I'm like, there it is. Just raise their price. I'm like, he does such amazing work. It's freaking ridiculous. Like he does a bunch of classic cars, sands them down, and I'm like, dude, like he does amazing work in general, and like, yeah, he raises prices, and that's it.
So you're kind of in a unique perspective of someone who you went through the hard grind of growing and establishing a business in New York. Now,
Yep.
you said detailing is not your primary job. It's kind of a side job?
Yeah, it is a side job. It's a part-time job, and to be quite honest, it's really my wife that does most of the detailing. I tell, Titan Tim and Rick Smith and a bunch of people, even Aaron. Pretty much what I do is, yes, I try to book details for the weekends, but if I can't, my wife, she stays at home with the kids. I have two daughters, and what she does is, if especially what I did in New York too was I would work my say example 9 to 5 job, and I'll be like, hey, can you drop the car off? Yeah, and she'll get started on the coding, paint correction, whatever the thing is, and I'll come back and finish it. Or sometimes she'll do the whole car herself that day
Wow.
and then just do it. So she does detail, she does do all that stuff. So my wife is a major help on it. Yeah,
What's her name?
her name's Fernanda.
Fernando. Do you
Yes.
show her online much?
Online, not so much really. Um, I don't show, but she's in a couple of videos here and there. You see her working in the background, but she does amazing work. I call her the interior guru. Like that's it, because she loves to do interiors. I hate doing interiors, so whenever we get interiors, like 90% of the time, it's really her doing it. I just do the clip of like, all right, this is what I'm using. This is, so that's about it.
Well, tell her Chelsea wants to see more of her.
Yeah, I'll let her know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I kind of wish my husband would help me every now and then. He's not that good though. Like
Yeah,
I normally have heart palpitations when I see him detailing, and it's just
yeah.
better if I do it myself. But Coming from New York, you had how many cars a month did you say you did?
So typically it ranged from say like 3 cars every weekend, like say because I would detail
That's not
Friday.
bad, Sock.
Yeah, well, that was like yeah, so I would say 12 to 15 cars typically a month. That was our ratio. Now, in terms of coding jobs, remember I did have an influx of regular customers, so it's not
Yeah.
like it was within 5 years I built that clientele, you know. So say it's like say out of every month was like three, maybe four new clientele, and the rest were regulars. So that was the big stepping stone in there. And yeah, so we'll do like 12 to 15. And yeah, that was pretty much like our gig for every month, which was again a huge help.
Yeah, and with 2 kids, that's actually quite amazing. 'Cause I
Yeah.
can only imagine her juggling all of that, you juggling all of that, and then doing cars plus other family stuff.
Yeah.
So having a what I would consider a successful side business for detailing, if not a business, you just were functioning on the weekends, and then transitioning to South Carolina, what has that been like for you? Has that been difficult?
Yeah, so the transition, to be quite honest, from New York to Myrtle Beach was, in terms as a personal life perspective, very easy, very simple, easy going. Because I really did live in not the best place in New York. So I did live in Jamaica, Queens, pretty much, and it's not the best place. So it's pretty much the ghetto. And I have 2 daughters, so and a wife. So I just said I don't want them to be in this type of environment. So personal, everybody's much more friendly here. It's night and day difference. It's just my wife loves it here. I love it here. I feel much more comfortable. Now, in terms of the business aspect, it's a little bit different. Just because I'm not gonna say I lowered my prices, but based on my prices of New York, I kind of knocked it down an extra $100 because remember the earnings that you make in New
Yeah.
York is a little bit different. So I knocked
A
it
lot
down.
bit different.
Yeah, it's a
You were
lot bit
telling
different.
me before we started, how much did you have to pay a month for, like, rent and things like
Yeah.
that?
Well, oh, for rent, if you want to say a 2 bedroom apartment, say in Jackson Heights, Queens, which is not the best neighborhood, is pretty much like the ghetto, and you'll be paying for a 2 bedroom apartment, and say a parking space for that apartment is like 2,400 a month, and that's just rent. You don't own it. You're living in the hood. It's not the best thing.
Wow.
So
Definitely a lot cheaper for you down south, I can, guarantee that.
I'm paying 2,400 for mortgage a month. So
That's
imagine that.
awesome.
So it's just a huge difference, you know. And if you want a home in up north in New York, there's a couple people, I have a couple subscribers, like they're paying close to like 7,000 a month minimum just to
Yeah.
cover for their 15K a year property tax.
I have friends that live in Jersey that if they can even see the skyline of the city of New York, it's like 5 grand a month. I'm
Yep.
like, I
Yep.
mean, here where I live, it's 1,200 a month for our mortgage, and there are some months that I'm like, but
Yeah.
we're blessed. But, like, so what was that transition like for you as far as uprooting the business and then planning it down south?
So as for the title is pretty much, starting all over, right? So Google kind of screwed me. That was the hardest part that really messed up everything. So I'm really starting from ground zero. So what happened was I showed Google, my business license. I changed my phone number, my business license, my address. I showed them everything, all the certificates, my EI, just to prove that I'm transferring my business from New York to South Carolina. They suspended my Google My Business. I had over 110 5-star Google reviews, all this stuff. Such a great presence that I built in 5 years.
Yeah.
And they denied my appeal. I reappealed again. They denied it again. And I'm just like, whatever. So have to start from zero. So,
That sucks.
yep. So right now, since March or May or whatever, when I had my first customer, I pretty much slowly and gradually been getting Google reviews, and of course, I did reach out to my old customers as well that love my work, love my detail, my regulars. I said, look, I need help. Can you please, I've done your car. Can you please leave a review? So, you know, a couple of them do, a couple of them don't. It is what it is at this point, but
But you
yeah.
said something interesting in the chat that there's like limitations to how many reviews you can get a
Yes.
week.
So yeah, so for Google is again everything's now with Google is done with AI. So
Mhm.
and it's not I'm not the first business that happens to. So there's a whole forum on the Google forums where there was some guy that had his business in Seattle. He had over 900 reviews in over like 15, 20 years of business. And Google now is when you leave a review, for example, you can only leave pretty much 2 Google reviews a week, or else it's pretty much considered spam afterwards, which is a little bit annoying. And that's what
Yeah.
you see it all on the forums and stuff. And there was a time too in New York where I booked 4 customers, and all 4 of them left a review, and only one of them was present because they
Mm.
all 4 left a review within that week. And
And that's
they were
like
all legit
annoying to like,
customers.
can you come back and do it in a week? And then can
Yeah.
you do it in 2 weeks? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be annoying.
And I'm like, I don't control the influx of customers that comes in. Like you said, Chelsea, there's times where people we could be booked out, 10 customers in a whole month, and then the other month could be half of it, and sometimes they don't leave a review, and just depends on the customer. Maybe all 10 wants to leave a review and they do leave a review and only 2 are present. So it's pretty frustrating. It hurts the business in a way.
So, do you feel like you have been able to establish at least a few good customers where you're at now? And what do you think is attributed to that?
So what's attributed more so in terms of like the business aspects on attributing more customers is really one is the best thing is my YouTube channel. So when people call me, I
Mhm.
kind of send them a link to because they always have questions. They always say,
Yeah.
"Hey, why is this details, $400? What am I getting on this deep?" And I'm like, "Well, carpet shampoo, steam cleaning, all this stuff." I'm like, "Look, here's a quick thing. Here's my YouTube channel. This is what," and they like that credibility. And then from there is I provide the service. They love it. They're ecstatic. They will leave a review, and it's word of mouth over here. Pretty much a lot of people talk. So um,
They
that's the difference.
love to get to know their neighbors down
Yep.
south.
Yep. And that's how they do it. They're like, "Yo, this guy does amazing work." So I had 4 big interior details, and 2 of them came from referrals right away. So say I detailed your car, you tell your friend or family member, they come over, and then yeah, that's how I got it.
Now, do you have like a referral program?
To be quite honest, no. I don't have a referral program. I probably should. Um, but at the end of the day, it's kind of I don't know, it gets a little bit too tricky, right? Because it's like, oh, you get example, $40 off this detail or whatever. Then you got to keep track of that too. It's just easier just to keep it, this is the price.
So I have a business card that has the QR code to my Google business review on it. And it basically just says like, thank you so much for your business. We'd love to know like about your experience. And as a thank you, $10 off your next service. And I tell customers like, if you leave us a review, just $10 off, but they're responsible for reminding me. Like
Yeah.
if they don't remind me, I'm not gonna like put it in an account somewhere.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that has helped with getting reviews, that incentive. But again, it's kind of up to them. But I hear
Exactly.
footsteps. My daughter's just coming in. But
Yep.
anyways, so when you transitioned from New York to South Carolina, wait, have you noticed detailing technique wise, has that changed at all for you?
Well, detailing technique wise, again, I had no garage door, so pretty much everything was always outside in the element. So
Oh,
I'm
so you're
much
in
more
heaven.
free. Exactly. Exactly. There's no detailing technique I'm worried about here.
But what
I
about
wash in my
humidity?
garage.
Like, do you have more humidity where you're at now south, or was New York pretty humid?
Well, New York was pretty humid as well, especially because again, it's city too as well with all the cars and pollution, so it really does feel heavy and mucky out there. So but in terms of like techniques, like I said, no real difference. Humidity is still hot. My wife, the first thing we said is like, thank God we put the AC in the garage. This is the first time we detail an AC. Because the thing is, in the hot weather, we would take so many breaks,
Hmm.
and we would just be like, all right, we're gonna take a 30-minute break, then come back, then take another 20, because it drains you, the sun. And that's pretty much what happened.
Sorry, my daughter is mouthing to me through the thing. I'll
Yeah.
talk to you later, okay? She's like, "Ah." I'm supposed to ask you about the gators, by the way.
Yeah. So nah, so in terms of gators, I don't like. Look, it's not the wildlife. It's just more. I don't like gators. What do you want me to say?
Who
I
really
don't go.
likes gators?
Yeah, I don't walk near the water. Like I don't like to, like those little ponds. It's all iffy to me. You know, that's what it is. I just don't like gators.
I grew up in Florida, so I fully understand the whole gator thing. There were, I mean, if there's a body of water, it could be a ditch with water. There was chances there was a gator in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do not like gators. I totally get that. But all right. So, when you are trying out new products now in your detailing business, are you finding that you're doing things differently than you did in New York?
Yeah. Well, when I'm trying products, I tell people all the time, it's like now that I'm in a garage, everything kind of pretty much works, right? I do still, gravitate to my certain products that I always say, look, these are the products that I use in my environment in the hot sun all the time. These were the best chemicals that, we enjoy using. But in terms here in the garage, it's kind of hard to test stuff. And trust me, I don't want to pull my car outside and wash outside anymore. I really don't. Like that's
Can
one of
you
those
wash
things.
inside?
Yeah, I could wash inside, but it's a slope garage, so all the water just slopes
Oh,
right down.
see, you're
Yeah,
lucky. I cannot. I have a wood garage. Like the walls, the everything are plywood.
yeah,
So water and plywood don't mix. I would totally like have mildew in a second. So I'm
yeah.
jealous of that. I always see like Adam Zirin. He always has like his car half in, half out, and I'm like, maybe I could do that. But what are some of the favorite products that you're trying out nowadays?
So, here's the crazy part is lately I haven't been trying too many products because
Okay.
there's the garage therapy, all these other stuff. And when I moved here, I pretty much moved most of my products from New York over here. And again, business isn't booming yet, so
Okay.
I don't run through the amount of products. I try not to test out too much. Um, but when I can, I'll do. But what products have I used new lately that I really like? It's kind of hard to say because I'm really stuck with like 4 product lines.
Okay. So we've talked about the fact that you're starting over. Okay. And when you and I were trying to brainstorm, trying to figure out like what is it that we exactly want to like express to the public, you were saying the tools for success. So what has been a successful products for you in the past that you're still using today? Because it doesn't sound like you experiment much. You have
Y-
like tried and true products.
Yeah. So to me, I tell people all the time. To me, Labo Cosmetica makes the best cleaning products. Period. They make the best cleaning products. Yes, they make great coatings, but you have to be certified, and some of their coatings are too. I don't like that stuff. So but in terms of accessibility, best is Primus Purifica is the best cleaning soap. Then I love their Anejo as well for water spot remover. And yeah, I pretty much like everything down the line of Labo for like coating prep. Then for my tried and true is most rinseless wash on the market is pretty much relatively really good, right? You can't really mess up a rinseless wash nowadays. Same thing with pH neutral soaps. That's kind of how like I feel with that market. You can't mess up a pH neutral soap, and you can't mess up a rinseless wash in this day and age. You can make something better and slicker, but and probably cleans a little bit better, but it's all really minute um details. But I love rinseless wash. DIY detail pans and Nemesis, they're all right there on that shelf right there. So that's what I used. And DIY detail products. I love the gold standard polish. It's pretty much like 80% of my stuff. Now, if I really need heavy cutting, I'll use Odas, or I love Griot's Garage fast correcting cream. That's one of like my heavy cut compounds. And yeah, so
That's a
those
good
are
one.
my tried and true products that I pretty much just really use. Yeah.
So when you were setting up your new garage, now that you actually have a garage, what were some of the essentials that you felt like you needed to get up and running?
So the essentials. All right. Number one thing is, besides having the AC, because you need AC in your garage, the number one thing is game changer to me is I was never a believer in an air compressor. So I was like,
I joined the club there.
yeah. So air compressor is number one.
Game changer,
So
yes.
And it's super, to be quite honest, if you're gonna detail in your garage and say you're gonna do it in your home garage, you want a decent sized compressor. I think with $1,500, you could get started really good with everything. And I'm
Okay.
talking about with I got I ended up going with the Fortress from Harbor Freight. It's
Okay.
pretty much the same as the California Air Tools one. It's just I think it's like $100 cheaper.
Okay.
That's it. So so that's it, and probably like 1 dB higher. That's it. Now is nothing crazy now. So yeah, so that cost me total $300 with the flex hose and the couple $300 for the whole thing. That's not a big deal. Then you could use a cheap extractor if you want for now. Or you could go the
No.
middle ground. You could do the
Middle
middle
ground.
ground. Middle ground,
I
like the Aquavac to me
Yeah.
is like the middle ground, but I do have the mighty HP 60. I paid $1,600 for it. So
Do you feel like it's worth $1,600?
hell yeah. It's heated. I love it.
Does it actually stay hot long enough for you to actually use it?
So the way it works is the heat pump, it only heats up a certain amount of water,
Yeah.
and then you just gotta turn it back on again and wait like 3 minutes, and then it's hot again for another five minutes.
See, because
So
I
it's
had the Mighty Light, the 8070, and they always say, like, for every 1 pass with water, you have to do 2 dry just to give it time to get caught up, and I'm like, "I don't have the
mm,
hand fatigue or the strength
yeah,
and, like, the time to be like, "Beep, beep, 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 beep."
yeah,
Like, it was annoying, and it was constantly going cold on me.
yeah,
For me personally, I have the Bissell Pro. I
yeah,
bought that just because I always see, like, Detail Geek or Mad Detail, like, they
yeah,
always use a Bissell Pro, which I'm like, You're making how many thousands of dollars doing these videos?
yeah.
Like, get a quality
Yeah,
extractor."
especially when the hose isn't long enough. I hate that little
No, you
vacuum
literally have
thing.
to sit the unit in the
Sit there.
car just and then I've had it fall over. I
Yep.
had what is it? The Rug Doctor Junior. I had that. That was a little bit better. Either way, short hoses fell over. I had to have it in the car. Your tank is like this big. And I'm like, they're doing disaster details with these things, which
Yep.
I'm like, good for you. But
Yep.
I've tried the smaller units. For me, I was spending more time emptying, filling it back up, dealing with the short hoses. I bought the
Yep.
Mighty thinking I'm a pro now. I have a
Yep.
pro extract and I didn't use it. It
Yep.
kept struggling. So I just got the Aqua Provac, put hot water in it. We're good to go.
Yep.
Uh,
But yeah, with that, you can still put hot water with your mighty as well.
you
There's
can, but
no.
it's harder to fill it up.
What do you mean?
Well, for me, the Mighty Light, you have an opening this big to put your
Oh.
water in. And I can't
Oh.
necessarily like get my hose with hot water to fill that up, or else I'm having to put it in a bucket and then hold a bucket to put it
Okay.
in.
Yeah. So
Show
this is
me.
the
What are
one.
you
Yeah.
doing?
This one is the. So, whoops. See that's a whole fill tank. It's pretty big.
I don't see anything. I see a cord.
Hold up. I don't want to drop the laptop.
Okay.
Do you see?
Yeah, but how do you get the water in there? Are you putting it in a bucket and then dumping it in? Or are you just
Nope.
like, do you have a hose straight there?
You could use a hose straight there.
Well,
I
if
have
I'm
my
putting,
garden
I
hose.
could put garden hose, but that's cold water for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you have hot water, yeah, you could use a bucket. Remember, it's only how long does it take to fill up a bucket? How long
Of
does it
hot
take to fill
water?
up a bucket? Yeah,
Well, with my pressure, not a lot longer. But I don't know.
probably what
Maybe
three,
I'm
four
lazy.
minutes,
Maybe I'm
maybe.
lazy that I don't want to have to fill up a bucket and then take that bucket and very carefully not dump it. Because on the Mighty Light, the opening is literally like that
Yeah.
big. It's
So the
stupid.
yeah, so the way my wife and I we do it is it's again it's one of those things is we take certain steps, which is kind of like if you're gonna use ODOS or fast correcting cream from Griot's Garage, right? With that type of compound, you're just gonna tape off the plastic trim to not give yourself a headache, right? So that extra 10, 15 minutes alleviated a whole extra hour of work, right? So with the Mighty Light, it's the same thing. Is guess what? I put hot water, two, three. Typically, you don't really use more than 2 gallons of water for a car,
I do.
90% of the time.
I do somewhere. So the Aqua Provac I think is 3 gallons.
Yeah.
There are some cars I'm doing 4 or 5 fills.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Those are the rare cases. But most of the time, you're doing just 2, maybe 3 gallons tops. right? So
The
you put hot
average
water.
the average condition, I'm doing 1. Like, I don't have to
Exactly.
refill it. Yeah.
Exactly. So with that being said, you just spend 10 minutes filling it with hot water and you just continue all the way around. So you don't have to use a heated extractor. So it
Maybe I'm
go
a little lazy.
yeah. And I like the pressure. The pressure for this is a lot better, and I don't know, the suction feels better than the Aqua Pro because I did have the Aqua Pro as well
And
before.
you got rid of it?
Yeah, I got rid of it, and the only reason why is I didn't like that tiny tank, and then it would tip over sometimes,
I've
and then I
never
needed
once had it tip over.
and then I needed, like I said, this was the other thing too, was again, I needed hot water. Everything I detailed was outside. So I needed a heat pump. Whether I filled it up with hot water outside in the wintertime, within 15, 20 minutes, it was already cold. So I needed that heated extractor for
I get
sure.
it. I get it. So, you got garage door, you got a mini split, you got
Yep.
a compressor, you got an extractor.
Yep.
What other things did you find were essential to get set up?
So for 90% of all your details in terms of do you see, this is kind of weird because this isn't really a setup for a beginner, right? If you really think about it,
Yeah.
because we already have experience with everything.
Yeah.
So
That's why
so
you
I
can, like, pass on that knowledge to other people.
yeah. So with this is more of yeah, I think that's pretty much it, really. I mean, you don't really need a pressure washer.
Okay.
That's me. I love the pressure washer. You don't really need one. But in terms of chemicals, I mean, from there it's just really chemicals, right? There's not really other things. But what other essentials? Everybody knows you need a vacuum. I mean,
Mhm.
that's so we need a vacuum, and what's the other stuff? What do you think in general? Because we already
Polisher.
said a polisher, yeah. If you want to go with a good quality, oh, talking about polishers.
Now
So
you teasing me.
I'm not sure if you saw, but they did have this on sale,
The
right?
OptiCoat ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
So
order got canceled. I was so bummed. I was really looking forward to getting it.
yeah. So this one I only was able to get the rotary. Is it is it worth? I have a review coming out. Was it worth the 500 retail? No. And if you look at all the specs and everything, it's still a great polisher. Don't get me wrong, or rotary. It's great. I like low rotary. So this will get the job done. But this is pretty much the SPTA polisher, the rotary,
Mhm.
and it's 250. So the fact that they were selling this for 500 was a little bit steep, but worth 100 to 300 bucks, this will be really great if you're going to use this. Super lightweight, great. If not, go with the SPTA rotary. Now, if you want a good quality polisher as well, DA, I just say I like cordless tools. I don't know
Mhm.
about you,
I
but
do too.
for me, I just use straight DIY detail. I finally got the cordless rotaries. I mean, not the cordless DA. I love that thing. My wife loves it. You know, it's great. It doesn't stall. It's cheap. We already had the Makita batteries, so because we were using the Makita batteries with the SPTA polishers, so the tool itself during Labor Day only costs $170, and
Nice.
that's it. So it's a huge deal. So if you already have Makita batteries or whatever tools you're using, if you're able to convert that to the DIY detail cordless polishers, just use that. That's literally the best thing. Can't go wrong.
So, people who are in the chat, if you're starting a detailing business, maybe you're establishing one for the first time, or maybe you're transitioning like Sock has, beyond the tools and the products that he's listed, what are some recommendations you guys would have? I'm curious to know from you guys. What other essentials do you think are needed? All right, so real quick, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna come back in and keep talking. So keep watching. We'll
Copy.
be back in about 3 minutes, guys. This is actually a YouTube short sharing with you guys an update on a coating. So for those of you that like updates on these things, you might enjoy it. So Ed has brought in his Subaru Forester that we ceramic coated a year ago with the McKee's 37 Graphene Pro Coat 2.0. Ed is an enthusiast. He doesn't want to be on camera, but we might have you talking a little bit. How have you been enjoying the ceramic coating, Ed?
It's amazing. It's really easy to wash. Nothing really sticks to it. to wash it every 3 weeks or so, and I've never seen any real failure in the beading. It's just really strong.
And I think it's doing so well because you're maintaining it so well. So like, what are some of the products that you've been using to maintain the vehicle with?
I've used Carco Reset after one of your recent videos for spring cleaning.
Nice.
And I used Apex Details cleaner.
Okay.
Soap. I've tried some others.
What would you say out of all of the soaps has been your favorite?
I think Apex has been the favorite.
Apex Auto Wash?
Yeah. But
Nice.
I have is I keep a drying rag and I keep this. You've seen these?
No, I haven't. You are influencing me so much. Guys, he just gave me an electric pump sprayer. What is this wizardry?
It's a little Ryobi chemical sprayer.
Okay.
And it works really well for doing a quick run.
Uh-huh.
But you have to fill it twice to do the whole car.
But if you got bird poop or something quick, if you're driving...
If it just got done raining and I'm 20 minutes from home, I'll shoot this and I'll use a drying towel to wipe it. So, and that will catch the water spots.
So today we're gonna go ahead and do our ceramic coating maintenance wash. Even though this thing is practically clean, we're just gonna dial things in a little bit. Now, whenever I'm doing a ceramic coating maintenance wash, I like to use an acidic-based soap like Yum Reset to help remove any sort of mineral deposits on the coating. This will just refresh the hydrophobics. Then we do an iron remover treatment, work that in with our wash mitt. We're using DIY details for this. Then we're going to top our ceramic coating with our hydrographene ceramic spray coating. You can use this as a standalone product, but you can also refresh and keep your ceramic coating going strong with this product. Just simply spray and rinse. Then we can very easily blow off all of our water, dry our coating, and it looks fantastic. So it looks like the before, but we are all done with our ceramic coating maintenance wash. It is doing a fantastic job at keeping up with maintenance, washing it every few weeks using manufacturer's recommended products. And whether you say it's the chicken or the egg, it's the base coating or the topper, he's having protection, he's having easier maintenance, and that's all that really matters. We did do a water spot treatment, we did do an iron remover, and we applied the hydrographene ceramic coating to all surfaces to top it. And then we even used Yum Detailer as a drying aid. So from head to toe, this vehicle has had a proper ceramic coating maintenance wash, and hopefully we'll be good to go for another year. But in the meantime, Ed, I'm always here if you need help. But this, I don't even know what I did, but it looks fantastic. Good job, Ed. Oh my goodness. That
Dang.
was the weirdest detail to have my customer influence me. He actually
Yeah.
gave me a an electric like sprayer, almost like a detailing keg.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the name of it, but Keeve had reviewed it and he's like, "Did you see that pump sprayer that Keeve did?" And I'm like, "Nope, didn't see it." He goes, "Well, here, I got one for you." And I'm like, "Seriously?"
Wow.
And then he's reaching in his back. He gave me so much stuff after that detail. It was
It's
insane.
awesome.
But
Isn't that the best, having customers like that always, like, you know, are willing
they
to
make
give
me
stuff?
nervous though, because I feel like I have to go like 1,000% more, because that was the first time that I've ever had a customer sit and watch.
Yeah.
Because he just, it was an hour appointment. So we were talking throughout the whole thing, and it honestly, I was like, "Oh my god, like, is he judging me? Like, is he criticizing me? Because this guy
Yeah.
has more tools than I do. It's ridiculous." He's like, "Do you have this?" And I was like, "Nope, don't have that."
Yeah.
He was trying to get me to start reviewing more tools on my channel. And I was like, "Ed, I just don't have the space for it." In fact, this was the guy that he gifted me anonymously a spot-free rinse system.
Oh, nice.
I had said it randomly in the episode that I did with Christian and Eddie, where I was like, "Yeah, I'm saving for a compressor," and he had texted or like messaged in the chat as like his username is like Wallamoose or whatever. But he was like, "What's the other thing that you've been saving for?" And I said, "A spot free rinse system." A week later, like a $400 unit shows up at my house, and my husband's like, "What did you
Damn.
do?" And I'm like, "I didn't do anything."
Yeah.
So
That's
definitely
awesome.
very fortunate to have really cool customers like that. But do you have a spot free rinse system back there?
Yeah. So I 5 finger discount took it from Keeve. Keeve said when he did the pay it forward campaign, I was like, dude, I know. I'm like, I moved. I spent a lot of money in this garage. He was like, dude, take whatever you want. So I got the big boy. He gave me the big boy pressure washer and the eye water system.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you don't need a pressure washer, you say, to start a detailing business.
No, you don't. The only reason why I got it is more for I want to say convenience per se. Just because I got the hose reel here, but 90% of my details on my channel when I was in New York is always with the garden hose. That's it. The chemicals really do 90% of the work for you.
Okay. So a lot of people within the chat, I'd asked them like, what are some other things that you guys think you need? A lot of you guys were talking about the cordless polishers. Seems like Flex, Harbor Freight, um, seem to be like leading the pack. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Flex. Have you ever used it?
Yeah, so the only flex tool that I really enjoy is their corded flex rotary. Here's the funny part. So their new I did use their beast as well, their gear driven tool. So I had a
Uh-huh.
cordless of that.
I had that one.
And I did order when they first came out was their rotary. When I finish with a rotary or use a rotary, I like to finish anywhere between like 400 RPM to like 700. 800 I could do, but it's just and stuff like that. I just don't like the 800 RPM. But yeah, so theirs was 800 RPM, so I sold that out on Facebook Marketplace, and then from there, their new one surprisingly has 600 RPM. So I may get their cordless one. It's just the battery is just way too bulky.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what are some things? Let's switch over. What are some things that you're looking forward to seeing from SEMA this year, or some things that maybe you are hoping to see?
You see, in terms of hoping to see, so you see what I need something different, right? Like I'm trying to find what I want a good carpet cleaning interior type of system, like to remove
Mm.
stains. That's
I
really what I'm
feel
looking for.
I feel like that's really lacking across the board from most detailing brands. Like if I were to develop a brand, I would want something that like specializes in those areas.
Exactly, because
Because
the only thing they have is Bridgepoint, but the one that I found to be the best is Bridgepoint, BioBreak, and Flex Ice. That's it.
so Bobby from Thor, he recommended that I check out Clean Tool Plus or their Fabric Plus. So
Yeah.
I have a bottle of that being sent to me because he said it's pretty awesome. What are your thoughts on Glico and Ductile?
So that's another one. So I love Glico and Ductile, but only
You
for
say it so much better than I do, by the way.
it's just Italian. It's just the Italian, but freaking, and everybody in the chat always says, "Oh, Labo Cosmetica," but pretty much is Glico and Ductila. The thing that I love about them is that you can use them on a medium soiled vehicle, if that makes sense. Like anything that's light to medium. After that, you need an extractor. I don't know about you, but for me is I think an extractor is essential because there's only so much grime. I know there's a couple people, oh, just use steamer only. I'm like, nah, I gotta use an extractor. So for Glico and Ductile, I like to use it with a steamer if I'm doing dry extraction. And
Okay.
then if I have to do wet extraction, I just stick with BioBreak and Flex Ice.
Okay. Have you ever tried like professional carpet cleaning solutions other than Flex?
Yes, I have. And what's that company name? I'm trying to remember. It's the one Nick used as well. I used that a while ago. So damn, there's one that you just scrub it on with their scrub pad, and it's pretty good. I forgot the name of the company. It's been like 4 years, 5 years since I used it, but I used it because of Nick.
Okay.
From
I know
yeah,
Nick used a lot of the Bridgepoint systems with the Flex. I
yep,
used Bonnet Pro because like I came from an industry. I was like a housekeeping supervisor at a Bible college, and we had to learn how to extract all the carpets, which with college students, there's tons of spills, and you never know like what exactly they are.
yeah.
And so having to learn about tannin stains and how to treat them and different, greasy stains. So I had a background with understanding the basic chemistry of it, but none of the chemicals that I found retail wise within the detailing industry really like unless you're using three products. like, which to me
Yep.
is just excessive. If I'm having to do step 1, then step 2, then step 3, and then you're not extracting, that's a ton of residue that you're leaving,
Yep.
which is gonna just accumulate resoiling.
Mm,
So for me, like, I get a lot of flack. I'm kind of in the same school of thought as you. I think extraction, when you've got heavy soiling, is the best way, not only to remove the dirt, but to remove the residue.
Yeah.
Because if you're using steam, you have a bonnet on your steamer that you're pulling a little bit of that residue up, but you're really not. And in fact, you're pushing it further into the carpet fibers and they're going to be crunchy, sticky, and
Yep.
that's just going to resoil. I don't know. That's just my thoughts, but
Yep. No, I agree. And for me, it's like you can only get rid so much of that topical staining to the point where it's like, well, there's still staining deep into the fiber, so you're gonna need to extract it. And then that's what I think is really lacking because every year it's ceramic coating, it's updated rinseless wash, it's an updated soap. It's like and that's across all brands. It's not just, it's across all brands. That's
yeah,
just my opinion.
I agree. So what do you think would make what do you think makes a great interior cleaner?
So that's you see, that's the whole thing is I'm not that scientifically and that's the thing, I guess I'm not that full into it, but it's just there's got to be some way that stains can be removed, right? Like when I mean is there's got to be a chemical that could pretty much remove everything. Like there's got to be something in life out there. The same way we've developed coatings to last for years, there's got to be a cleaner that can truly really deep clean to the point where it's like, guess what? This oil and grease stain, even if it's been here for say a couple months, 6 months or whatever, is easily removed. You use this, use an extractor, done. So it's just that's the innovation that I'm really looking for as a detailer because nothing hurts me more than doing an entire deep cleaning on an interior and then still seeing that blotchy stain. I was like, yeah, I didn't make it 10 times better. Yes, it's not my fault that it's there, but it's still a bit annoying to still see it.
Well, sometimes I think sometimes we need to change our verbiage from stain to spot because there
Yeah.
is a difference between a stain is permanent, a spot
Yeah.
can be removed. So when we say, "Oh, I didn't get a well, it's because it's a stain."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Makes
so
sense.
I mean, and again, it could be hydrophobic, hydrophilic. We have, these terminologies that some people get caught up on. But for me,
And
I have found citrus-based, hydrogen peroxide-based products work
yep.
really well. Um, they go after organics, they go after grease, and they can actually
Yep.
handle some tannin stains pretty well too. But I agree. I think we need to be on the lookout. That is I'm intrigued to go to SEMA. I know I have a lot of work to do when I get there as far as filming and meeting people, but I'm really intrigued to see like all the different ideas because there's so much that I don't see or witness. I don't
Yeah.
watch all the videos where everyone's going to the booths just to see kind of the innovation that's going on in the industry and
Yep.
see where it's going. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. That's that. You see, I'll probably go to SEMA next year just to give that a shot. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's just that innovation that is really needed. And David Boyce just put it in the chat too. He said end cap clean. That is what I was talking about. That's what
Okay.
Nick used. So it's really good. I've tried it. It's just it's more of like a dry. They use the
Mm.
bonnet, the scrubber, and they give you that. So it does amazingly well, that stuff. But I
Well, and
like to use that with an extractor.
he said red one. That is probably for like stains, Kool-Aid stains. That is the best product I have found.
Mhm.
But
All
there
right.
is a specific way to use it. You have to use it properly. You need like a white terry towel, and you basically have to use steam or an iron or something to actually like transfer the stain from the surface to the
Mhm.
white terry towel.
So, wow. Nice. Damn, that's a lot of you see, and I'm not really too in tune with interiors, like cleaners. That's what I'm saying. It's just nobody really talks about it. Everything is a polish, a paint
You gotta
correction.
follow me, Sock. I
Yeah.
talk
So
interiors. I'm a nerd when it comes to these things.
yeah.
Yes, I know,
So
David. I need to have my walking shoes ready. I have many pairs of soft sneakers prepared for it. So I'm excited. We've got what, 2 weeks till SEMA. I'm sure Eddie and Jamie are spinning trying to get everything ready, but I think it's going to be awesome. So if you were to do the move all over again from New York to South Carolina, like how long have you been there now?
uh officially since March.
Okay.
So 7 months now. Yeah.
Is there anything that you would do differently?
Um, To be quite honest, at the moment, no. I mean, everything I'm very methodical when it comes to planning stuff out. I like to be very, you know, this is the plan. And if the plan doesn't go this way, it's going to be plan B. So everything's been pretty much smooth sailing. Like, thank goodness for the only different thing that really kind of I felt hurt me the most was the Google My Business. I feel like if I was able to transfer it, because remember, Google does tell people that you've been in business for more than 5 years. Because I officially became a true detailing business in 2020. So that's when I opened it up. So that's 5 years erased. So that's the only thing different that I wish I could have. That's it.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you were to give advice to someone that either is starting a new business or transitioning and is reestablishing, what would be your advice to them?
So my advice for number one is research your market area, right? Don't try and that's one of those things where I did my homework and Titan Tim helped me out. I made a bunch of phone calls. Focus your area on somewhere where do you want detailing almost all year round, right? Is it warm weather? Get in that area. Is it a car show type of area? Is it a car um influence area where a lot of people are into cars? That's that. And then the second thing is move to a place where you're not isolating yourself, because there's a lot of beautiful homes out here in Myrtle Beach and even like more inward where yeah, you can have a whole bunch more acre of land and stuff cheaper, but it will make it harder for my customers to access me. So I'm in the middle of pretty much everywhere. Like I'm 20 minutes from everything, right? So everybody can get to my place within 20 to 30 minutes, which is more reasonable than somebody having to say, I'm going to get my detail. I got to get my car detailed and they have to drive an hour, right? And
Mhm.
and that's one of those main things is look at your market area first. See how far away are you from the population, because without people you're not going to have a business.
Kind of essential.
Yeah, so that is the number one thing I tell people all the time is market area. That's it. And then in terms of marketing, just present yourself. I always tell people, if you the reason why I made the detailing my YouTube channel was to provide information for my customers, because I hate speaking on the phone for 10, 15 minutes for a guy to say, maybe let me think about it, or I don't quite get it. It's one of those things. My conversations are 5 minutes tops with each customer. I'm like, I don't want to spend more than 5 minutes speaking with a customer most of the time, especially if they have a lot of questions. I don't mind helping them out, but once it start being a little too like, oh, can you go back to what this means? Or how do I know you could polish the scratch out? It's like, I don't, your car's not with me here. I can't see the scratch. I don't have any information.
Yeah, they're just
So
fishing for free information to do it
yeah,
themselves. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I did the YouTube channel. And my first video was a rinseless wash. And that's because I did a ceramic coating and I told the customer you could just use a rinseless wash to maintain it. He says, how about you make a video? I see a lot of videos, but I want you to show me. And then I did the video. And then from there, my YouTube channel was made with that rinseless wash video for the customer.
That's awesome. Well, I think it's really important for people to start marketing themselves if you're not, if you're looking to either start or reestablish a detailing business, like social media is essential to have, a
Yep.
successful business period these days, but especially a small business. So, and it
Eh,
doesn't take much. It literally is
Yep.
a phone, create content to answer the questions that your customers are going to have.
Exactly. That's literally it. And then sometimes most customers love it when they're like, "Oh, well, this is how my car was." And it's so much easier to like refer somebody. And that's how I used to get my referrals as well. They'd be like, "Oh, I saw the video that what you did. You're very knowledgeable. I liked how you broke down everything. I'm gonna bring my car to you." Right. And then we live in a day and age, like you said, social media. It's one of those things where um before and after pictures are really just for like the boom. Well, I'm not gonna say boomers because but I'm a '90s baby. But it's so 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's how
2000s,
we
early
started.
2010s. Yeah,
Yeah.
and first was the yellow pages. Now it's the whole. Then it was before and after pictures. But before and after pictures don't do justice anymore. You really have to show a video of like this is what transformation looks like, and that's it. It could be a 60-second clip.
Yep. And then you'll go viral on YouTube,
And
and
you,
then I'll be
yep,
angry at you that you're more successful than me. It's fine. It's
yep.
fine.
And I do have a detailer in New York. He doesn't post any videos online. Like he just reserves it for his customers and it's unlisted. So he just sends them the link. So when they click the link, they can see the video. That's it. So he just doesn't like the whole, again, people are different.
Yeah.
But it's his same thought process. Is like people want to see a before and after. And once you show them that, hey, oh, this is the guy that actually, because that's another thing too. Anybody could grab pictures from anywhere now,
Yeah.
right? And say this is a before and after. But if they see you as a persona detailing the vehicle, you're the person talking and teaching, they're like, wow, okay, so this guy is gonna do my car. They're much more friendly when they come over and see you. They're like, oh wow, it's relatable. Oh, this is the person that's gonna do my car.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a lot of people that, um, especially women, they just feel more comfortable having like seen your face, know what they're going to be experiencing, and they're like, "Oh, I watched your videos." It's
Yeah.
always cute when like the husband is like, "Hey, you remember like that video we watched with her together?" And she's like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
know." So
Yeah.
very surreal. Um, Rick had a question real quick. Chelsea, don't you have a lot of competition? How do you navigate that? You have a lot of competition where you're at, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. I do. There's a car wash detail. The competition, like I tell people all the time, is um that's like a food restaurant. How many restaurants are around you?
A ton.
Exactly. It's
Not as much
it's
as New York, but a
yeah.
ton.
So it's the same thing here. There's like 7 or 8 Mexican restaurants around, and they're all always packed. It's just you just have to bring the value to the customer, and everybody has their price ranges, right?
Mhm.
So that's what it is. What is it that you're good at? What is it that you're looking for?
I've said this a ton, so forgive me if I'm repetitive, but I live right up the road from the Mannheim Auto Auction, which is the largest auto auction in the US. Literally, they have 3 or 4 lots that are miles long. Y Just ridiculous, and along that stretch of road on Mannheim Pike is at least 10 detailers, like vultures waiting to get all of the auction cars, and then every dealership has a detail shop, and then I think there's 3 within my neighborhood alone. My neighborhood, like, at the
Yep.
end of the street is mobile detailer, and then there's, like, multiple big shops. There's a ton of mobile detailers. Thankfully, like Fred has been helping me with my SEO that I'm actually ranking higher on Google, which is awesome. I think that is like something a challenge to be able to do in a very saturated market. I don't know if that translates to sales quite yet because it is just I think the economy is just everyone is holding on to their money with a tight fist right now.
Mm,
um, I know, I get it. Government shutdowns, like a lot of people are just they're holding on to things. But for me, as far as navigating that, I answering your question, Rick. When I first started, I thought I had to be the lowest detailer because I was a female, because I was in a saturated market, and I quickly learned that that was not the case. I started raising my prices. I started getting better customers. I started getting more customers. I do feel like you can reach a cap in your market and you have to know your market. I'm actually was pretty high for my market for me having just a home-based detailing business. I was actually a little bit more expensive than even some of the bigger shops that have the cool waiting rooms and the experience. So for me, I lowered my prices a little bit to try to reflect that. But I don't want to compromise so much because I know what I'm bringing to the table. So I think,
yep.
like you said, know your worth, know your value, but you also have to know your market. And the
Yep.
market can ebb and flow sometimes.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that whole raising prices, lowering prices in the midst of a hard economy is um it's a hard there's no across the board answer. It's not
Yep.
going to be like one size fits all. So
Yep. And like I
But
tell people all the time, it's just the value. You bring what you bring to your customers. When a customer or prospect calls you, it's how you present yourself too, right? What type of knowledge are you giving them? Do they want to hear what, because that's another thing. I hate it when people detailers say, oh, how do you close sales? Is one of those things where when a new customer calls, you don't ask them. They're like, hey, I want to get a ceramic coating, and it's a 2-year-old vehicle, and you're like, oh, okay, so how much swirls and scratches are on your car, or how much stains do you have on you? And it's just like, you don't ask that question. The way you close the sale is, yeah, we could do this detail for you, this is how much we typically charge for this, but if you bring it in, we can adjust the price accordingly. And that
yeah,
way they're like, okay, well, this is the range he's giving me. And the thing is that people need to understand, you have to bring your prospect to the door. That's the only way you close your sales, because you're not it's going to be very rare you're going to close a sale over the phone. That's how I book most of my customers. Titan Tim does it all the time too, of Shine Your Light Detailing. He has customers calling him. He's like, "Yeah, can you bring it over?" He's like, "Yeah,
yeah.
I'm 20 minutes away." Once they bring it over, he's like, "Okay, this is what
Mhm.
you want done. This is what it's gonna cost." Oh, and then what is your concern? That's
Yep,
the number one thing, is what is it that's really bothering you on your vehicle?
yep,
Don't show them what you see. Just if they ask you, that's a different story. But for me, it's like, what is your concern? What do you truly want to get detailed?
yep, that's the
That's
number
it.
one question. I always say, like, "What is the biggest issue that you have with this vehicle?" And normally they're like, Not much." And they're like, "But I did have my dog vomit in the back seat." I'm like, "Let's
Exactly.
lead with that next time."
Exactly.
Oh.
So
Speaking of
that
dog vomit, have you ever had to fire a customer?
fire customer, actually no, most of them fire themselves really, because especially when I started raising my prices in New York when I first started. Eventually when I raised my prices, they just stopped coming over. But nah, I never really had a fire customer. I've done crazy disaster details. I have a video 2 years ago on my YouTube channel. My wife really did the whole thing. So these people got drunk in a Tesla and they threw up in the entire, literally throw up from the back to the front seat on the windows. Obviously I charged them a whole bunch for it. I charged them like close to like 1500 $1,600 for it. And my wife did it all. I just said, here, take the money, I don't care.
Did you
Yep.
give her all the money?
Yeah, pretty much she did. Yeah.
Good,
She
good.
did the whole
After
thing.
all,
I
you
I
should.
did the I just did the outside. I just washed the outside. That's it.
Anytime there is vomit involved, I'm just suddenly really full. I'm just booked. I just can't.
Yeah. Nah,
I
dog
that
poop.
is
I give them a
I'll do
ridiculous
dog
price.
poop before I do vomit. I don't know why.
But what I do is I give them,
The
look,
weird things that come out of our mouths when we talk about detailing stock. Do
this
you
is
just
what,
realize what I just
yeah.
said?
Yeah. You rather do dog poop for, here's the crazy part, right? Here is the crazy part. Carlos Serrano's actually taught me this when I was watching his videos, like, 3, 4 years ago, before
Yeah,
I started my channel. He gave the perfect advice. He says he does whatever type of detail he wants, because I'm like, I don't like to do mold and stuff like that.
yeah.
Carlos does mold and interior, whatever. But
Mhm,
what Carlos says is he gives them a ridiculous price. It's gonna cost you $3,000.
mhm.
If they say yes, yes. If no, no. Because he says he typically doesn't want to do that type of work at the end of the day. But if he gives them the price where he thinks it's worth it, then he does it. And that's
Yep,
the same vice versa.
yeah. I've had a few of those. I had a guy that brought a 1990 Corvette over that it was white, but it literally was covered in green mold. Everything was rotted. There was mold on the interior. There was spider webs all over the engine, like every nook and cranny. And I was like, $3,000. And he's
Yeah.
like, never mind. It's like,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
I would have been panicking if he'd have said yes, but would have
Yeah.
been an awesome video. But fortunately, he said
Yeah.
no.
That's it. And that's what my wife and I do, is we get, if it's something ridiculous that we know we kind of don't want to tackle, we just give them you know, they're like, oh yeah, but the other guy, I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure the other guy did not see this car. There's no way the other guy is gonna, but if when it come my way, and that's a different story. Is like, that's the thing with customers that kind of bugs me. It's like, oh well, the other guy is charging cheaper. Okay, well I mean, you don't
Go
have
to
to tell me
them.
that. You could just go to them. Just I'm not gonna lower your price. And then they call me, can you do it for like $20 cheaper? I said, you already told me the other guy's doing it for cheaper. Anyways, go to him.
I felt so cool when I said that to a customer one time. I gave him a price they wanted. It was a Jeep Wrangler. It was rusted out. It was nasty. Like wheels were literally orange from rust. And I mean, there's 5 of them. You know, we've got
Yeah,
like that extra wheel. Interior was covered with pet hair slobber. I gave him a price of 500. I know a guy that does it for 125 down the road. I said, okay, then that's awesome. I said, "Give him a call." I said, "Unfortunately, I can't do any better than that price." And when they
yeah,
drove away, I was like, I felt so freaking
yeah,
awesome. They ended up calling me back later, and they
yeah,
were like, "Can you squeeze us in?" And I was just like, no." They
yeah.
wanted me to pull seats, all this stuff for like
No, yeah,
$125. I was like, "What guy do
no,
you
yeah.
know is pulling seats for $125?"
Yep, yep. And with people like that, when they call back, to be quite honest, I don't take them because
Yeah.
for me personally, is those are the people that now is gonna like pick at every single little thing. They're like, well, why does this look, why do I have this thing? Well, your car was super dirty to begin with, so you're not gonna notice all these bird etchings when you have a whole bunch of dirt and debris. But so I've learned my lesson with that. I had a customer. She was the first one to leave a 1-star review ever. That's one-star review ever on my
That
business.
one you can sayonara on Google.
Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, Google automatically gives you like a pardon for your first 1-star review. So,
Do they?
yeah.
Okay.
So that was the only 1-star, and she tried to say my wife and I scratched up she had a 2016 Ford not Escape, but see, it's the smaller one, but or an Escape. I think it was an Escape. So that's what she had, and she tried to say, "Oh, we scratched the her bumper." And it's 2014, never got detailed. Went to brush car washes. There was deep scratches to begin with. It hasn't been washed in 8 months. So when she started to see a whole bunch of swirls and scratches on the paint, she was like, "Oh, it's we caused it." I'm like, "We didn't cause anything. It's just your car was super dirty." That I'm like, "We foamed it on, rinsed it off, foam like." Whatever. So yeah, she left like a BS review and kind of screwed me over.
See,
But
that's the only time that I say before and afters are critical.
yep,
But not for necessarily marketing, but for CYA
yeah.
purposes.
But I have a camera and we always take a walk around video. So even when you know, again, you don't really want to argue with a customer on Google. So because it makes it seem like you're very um defensive as a
Mhm.
business owner. But I guess she just wanted a free detail or something else or whatever the case may be. And I don't know. But yeah, so that's it. That's what customers. That's what I have.
Well, I have a feeling that you're going to have, far more pleasant customers down south. They are different, I will be honest.
I'm
No?
not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I've
So
had a
you're telling me that customers down south can be just as cantankerous as New Yorkers?
yes, yes, and again, everything is cheaper. It's a cheaper living out here,
Mhm.
and then they're very picky as well. Like because here's the crazy thing is they come over and sometimes they have these crazy disaster cars. And I'm like, yes, I like, you live out there in the country, you do that stuff, but I'm like, you have like wool, dirt, grime, bird poo, dog poo, all this stuff. It's just a disaster. We ended up, my wife and I are first in deep interior and detail here. We gave them a $600 price because it was really bad,
Mhm.
and they were from the country, and we found 2 dead mice in there. So they're like, yeah, they probably. I'm like, I was wondering why.
Yeah,
So
they're
I'm
out in the
like,
country, that's gonna
yeah.
happen.
So that's what. So, but I gave them that price, but I didn't know there
Mice,
was a dead
rats, New
mice. They
York,
didn't
I
tell me there
mean
was a mouse in there. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? It's just, but they're thankfully they weren't nitpicky, but there's a lot of others that they just very nitpicky. That we had a couple that they ended up enjoying it at the end of the day, but they were really like vigilant on like, okay, you charge me this much, or I want to see every little crack and crevice.
now, I should have
So
asked this at the beginning, and I didn't, but what were your prices in New York, and did you keep them the same down south?
Yeah, so I kind of pretty much kept everything the same. I
Really?
just probably
And you're
knocked it
not
down.
struggling.
Well, I'm struggling getting customers because my
You're
presence
new.
isn't there.
You're new.
I'm new, yeah. But in terms of like closing out some sales, yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle. I knocked it down just $100 from New York prices,
Okay.
each package $100. But there's this detail out there that yeah, and this is the thing about Myrtle Beach. I forgot to tell you about this. So there's a couple of detailers out here that they do these shady businesses, right? So they do like these shady. There's a bunch of detail shops that does that around here. Where there was this one guy that was charging like $4,000 for ceramic coating. No lie, like two-step $4,000 coating, yada yada yada. And I'm guessing they're not doing too good anymore because everybody's struggling. So now he changed his website to in-person quote only or come in for a quote. And then you have this other detailer. What they do is $400 ceramic coatings. So what do they do? Everybody calls that $400 number, and then I'm pretty sure he just starts upcharging everything, right? Just to get them on the phone because he's not doing it for $400. We all know that because he says starting is 400,
Yep.
but then I had a what I do is I do research too, right? So I call my cousin called a couple of detailing businesses just to see what it was at. So the guy said, "Yeah, it's $400, but that's only if you want us to wash and put the coating on the car. If you want to polish the car, then it's gonna be 1,100. And if you get what I'm saying, so it's like it's a so they do that
Totally
so you could get a
transparent.
phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thanks for the $700 price
So it's
difference.
dealership or actually detailed?
Exactly. So those are the things where they do a lot of shady practice here. So
Yeah.
I think that's why Titan Tim is so successful over here, and I've been a lot more successful when I do get customers to call to close because it's one of those things where I'm upfront right away. This is what it's gonna be. Oh, I saw another website, and then sometimes they'll call back. They ended up calling that other detailer, which was hilarious. They're like, "Yeah, the other detailer told me they were gonna charge this much afterwards," and I was like, "Well." So they came with me because it's obviously I was a little bit more premium, but they just didn't like that bait and switch tactic. You get what I'm saying? That whole I thought it was 400, now it's $1,100. How does that work with a paint enhancement?
Yeah,
So.
that's a big difference. Well, hopefully you guys have been able to gather some information, some knowledge for those of you that maybe you're dealing with a similar situation. But Sock, I honestly thank you for coming on. Um, I wish you nothing but success. Where can people find you if they want to find you online?
If they want to find me, they can find me on Detailing Made Simple on YouTube. That's pretty
Okay.
much where it goes. And then I don't know, I travel a lot for work. So there's one of those things where I'm thinking of, I don't know, for people in the chat is maybe I could stop by on one of the garage on my after hours of work, and maybe we could do a car detail so that way I could make some video content because I travel to like Michigan, Virginia, all these other places. So that would be like good content if there's a couple of subscribers here that's like, hey, I got a car, I need help, or what products. I don't mind, traveling and possibly doing like quick videos. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, reach out to Sock if any of you guys are interested in having him hang out with you in your garage and work together. But thank you guys for joining us this Wednesday. Next week, we're going to be doing a product review video, which I'm really, really excited. So make sure you guys tune in next week. But Sock, thanks for hanging out. Everyone, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And we'll,
Appreciate you having me.
yeah, I wish you nothing but success, and I can't wait to see what you come up with online.
Yeah.
All right. Tell your wife,
Later.
keep up the good work.
Yep. No, she always does. I tell people all the time.
All righty. We'll see you
Like,
guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. All right. If you guys have watched this podcast episode all the way through to the end, thank you so much for watching. If you like the podcast, make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you really like the podcast, make sure you subscribe and hit that notify bell so that way you don't miss out on any of our future podcast episodes. If you're listening on any of our podcast streaming platforms, make sure you leave us a review and let us know what more you want to hear of in the future so that way we can make sure that we bring on the guests and discuss the content that you guys want to hear. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday right here at the House of Rags YouTube channel. Have a great night.